Last weekend, my mom called the police on me. Why? Because I refused to open my own front door. My parents, my sister, her kids, all standing outside screaming like it was their house. When I didn't cave, Mom dialed 911 and told officers I was locking out family. I thought I was going insane. I'm Naya. I'm 32. After years of scraping by as a paralegal, I finally bought myself a small but beautiful place on the edge of a quiet town in Indiana. 2 bedrooms, 1 office, a fenced yard with a porch swing. Nothing fancy, but mine. For the first time, I had privacy and peace. I remember my first night there. I unpacked 1 box, sat on the porch with a cheap glass of wine, and thought, finally, I'm not sharing walls. I'm not tripping over roommates' dirty dishes. I'm not living under anyone's rules. This is freedom. Of course, my family came to see the place. Mom and Dad arrived first. Then my older sister Marla, her husband Doug, and their 2 kids, Tanner and Lily. The second Marla stepped in, her eyebrows shot up. "This place is way too much for just you," she said. "You could rent out a room. Or, let us use the space for the kids." I laughed it off. But her tone? It wasn't a joke. 2 months later, I hosted Thanksgiving. I cooked, decorated, even set up air mattresses in the living room for the kids. My uncles and cousins showed up too. Everyone ate until they couldn't move. Mom told me, "Naya's house is perfect for family gatherings." I felt proud. I thought maybe this would be our new tradition. But I had no idea what I was inviting into my life. A few weeks after that, Mom called with news. Marla wanted to throw Lily's 8th birthday party at my house. 20 kids, balloons, games. I froze. "Mom, no. I work from home. I don't want 20 kids wrecking my place." "But her apartment's too small. Your yard is perfect. Why waste money on some venue?" Against my gut, I agreed, but only if Marla promised to handle cleanup. She swore she would. The day of the party? Absolute nightmare. Parents dumped their kids and left. The magician was some teenager who gave up after 10 minutes. Kids ran wild. One spilled orange soda all over my new rug. Another locked himself in my office and scribbled on my legal books with marker. By the time it ended, my backyard looked like a junkyard. Plates crushed into the grass. Wrappers floating in my pond. Frosting smeared on the porch swing. And Marla? She grabbed Tanner and Lily, smiled at me, and said, "I'd stay, but Doug needs dinner. You don't have kids, so you'll be fine." I wanted to scream. Instead, I stared at the destruction until I couldn't breathe. I had to hire a cleaning crew. Cost me $720. I posted the receipt in our family group chat and said, "Marla should cover this since she didn't clean up." Within minutes. "Mom, that's greedy." "Dad, family helps family." "Doug, we can't afford this right now. Kids make messes." "Marla, wow, you're unbelievable." I sat there, shaking, realizing they all saw me as free labor. I thought maybe it would blow over. But the next Saturday morning, I heard tires in my driveway. I peeked outside, Mom, Dad, and the kids. Without asking, I opened the door in pajamas. "What are you doing here?" "We were in the area," Mom said, already walking inside. Dad switched on my TV. The kids ran straight to the backyard. "We're starving. You've got eggs, right?" I ended up cooking pancakes while they lounged around. They stayed all day, ate everything in my fridge, left dishes stacked high. The Saturday after that, it happened again. This time Marla and Doug came too. They ordered me to get pizza. I couldn't work, couldn't rest, couldn't say no. By the 4th week, my house didn't feel like mine anymore. I dreaded weekends. Finally, I snapped. I wrote in the family group chat, "No more surprise visits. Call first. And clean up after yourselves. I mean it." The replies came fast. "Mom, ungrateful." "Dad, this is what family does." "Marla, so you hate being an aunt?" Sad. My hands shook as I read it. I tried to be nice. I tried to bend. But I knew then, I couldn't keep living like this. So the next Saturday, when the cars pulled into my driveway again, I made my decision. I didn't open the door. The banging on my door rattled the glass. "Naya, open up." My mom's voice cut through the walls. I sat frozen at my desk, heart pounding. They'd all piled out of their cars. Mom, Dad, Marla, Doug, the kids. Voices rising, neighbors peeking through blinds. I called out, "I told you last week. No more surprise visits. Go home." Silence. Then the pounding started again. Dad yelled, "We know you're in there. Your car's in the driveway." I shut my eyes. My stomach twisted. The kids were crying now, begging, "Aunt Naya, let us in." That's when Mom screamed the words that made my blood run cold. "Fine. If you won't open, I'll call the police." I laughed bitterly under my breath. "Do it. They won't force me to let you in." But she did. She actually called 911 and told them her daughter was keeping family locked outside. 20 minutes later, 2 patrol cars pulled up. My whole block was watching like it was a circus. The officers walked up slowly. Knocked gently. "Ma'am, could you open the door?" I cracked it open, shaking. Behind them stood my furious family, arms crossed, looking like a mob. "Your mother says you're refusing entry," the older officer said. "That's correct. This is my home. I don't want visitors today." Mom shrieked. "She's being cruel. We just wanted family time." The officer turned to her. "Ma'am, this property belongs to her. She has every right to say no." Gasps erupted. Dad's jaw dropped. Marla actually yelled, "You can't be serious." "I am," the cop said flatly. "If you don't leave when she asks, that's trespassing." For a second, I thought they'd argue. But finally Dad hissed, "Fine. We're leaving." Mom glared at me like I'd just murdered someone. "You'll regret this." The cars pulled out. The officers gave me a sympathetic look. "Family drama's the worst. Call us if it happens again." When the door shut, I slid to the floor, shaking so badly I could barely breathe. I had just had police remove my own family. I thought maybe it would end there, but I underestimated them. The next morning, my phone blew up. The family group chat was full of new members, cousins I hadn't seen in years, aunts from other states, even old family friends. Mom had told everyone I called the cops on my own parents. She left out the part where she dialed 911 herself. The messages were vicious. Disgusting. "She's heartless. Living in a big house all alone. Won't even let her family in. Those poor kids." I couldn't read anymore. I left the chat, turned off notifications. But that night, I heard a knock. Slow. Repeated. I peeked through the blinds. It wasn't my parents. It was my neighbor, Mr. Krantz, an older guy who'd lived next door for decades. He'd been watching everything yesterday. I opened the door cautiously. "Rough weekend, huh?" he said with a crooked smile. "I just wanted to tell you, you did the right thing. They're out of control." I blinked, caught off guard. "Thanks." I thought I was losing my mind. "Not at all. I've seen them showing up here every Saturday. Like they own the place. If they try it again, call me. I'll back you up." For the first time in weeks, I felt relief. Someone believed me. Someone saw it. But that relief didn't last. Because the next Saturday, they came back. Not just my parents, uncles, cousins, Marla's friends with their kids. A full caravan. I didn't open the door. I called out, "Leave. You're not welcome here without an invitation." They yelled, cursed, demanded entry. And then, suddenly, Mr. Krantz walked out onto his lawn. Loud enough for the whole block to hear, he shouted, "Her house, her rules. If you people don't leave, I'm calling the cops myself." My family froze. They weren't expecting the neighbor to get involved. And for a moment, I thought it worked. Cars started pulling out. Shouts turned to grumbling. But then Marla snapped. "You think one old man scares us? Fine. You don't want us here? We'll take this to the whole family. Everyone will know how selfish you are, Naya." They drove away. And within an hour, my phone buzzed nonstop again. Calls, texts, emails. My extended family across the country now believed I was the villain. But what none of them knew, what not even Mr. Krantz knew, was that I had already started planning my escape. Because I wasn't going to win this fight by standing still. I thought things couldn't get worse after the cops. I was wrong. My family decided to go nuclear. By midweek, co-workers started asking weird questions. "Hey Naya, everything okay at home? Heard you've been having problems." I froze. Problems? At work? Turns out my mom had called my boss. My actual boss. Told him I was isolating myself and not in the right state of mind. I wanted to explode. Who does that? I had to sit in my manager's office defending my sanity like some criminal. He believed me, thankfully, but I left that building shaking with rage. When I texted Mom demanding an explanation, she replied, "We're worried about you." Family wouldn't shut out family unless something was seriously wrong. The nerve. Then came Saturday. Like clockwork, the cars rolled in. This time, though, they didn't even bother knocking. They set up lawn chairs. On my front lawn. Coolers. Snacks. Like it was a family reunion. I marched outside, furious. "What the hell are you doing?" Marla popped open a soda. "If you won't let us in, we'll just enjoy the yard. The neighbors love seeing us together." My voice cracked with sarcasm. "Oh sure, nothing screams family love like trespassing on someone's lawn." Doug grinned. "Relax, it's grass. You've got plenty of it." I snapped. "Get off my property now." Instead of leaving, Mom pulled out her phone and started recording. "Look at this, everyone. Our daughter, screaming at her own parents. She won't even let us sit outside. Imagine how cold-hearted you'd have to be." My jaw dropped. Are you serious? She kept filming while I yelled at them to leave. And of course, 10 minutes later, the video was on Facebook. Captioned, "Pray for our daughter. She's pushing family away and doesn't know what she's doing." The comments rolled in fast. Old church friends, neighbors, even my high school classmates. Everyone piling on with, "How sad. She needs help. Family is everything." I wanted to scream, cry, hide, all at once. By evening, my phone had over 100 messages from people I hadn't spoken to in years. Everyone wanted to talk. No one asked for my side. And then the kicker. The next morning, I found my mailbox stuffed with flyers. Brightly colored, printed flyers. Family matters. Don't let selfishness tear us apart. Support the Johnson family. With my actual address listed at the bottom. I couldn't breathe. They had basically turned my private life into a neighborhood circus. When I confronted Dad, he didn't even flinch. "Maybe this will shame you into doing the right thing. Family belongs together." I laughed. Loud. Bitter. Together? You mean me cooking, cleaning, paying for everything while you trash my house? That's not family. That's free labor. Marla sneered. "Maybe you wouldn't be so bitter if you had a husband or kids. You wouldn't understand real responsibility." I saw red. Responsibility? You mean dumping your chaos on me because you can't handle your own life? The fight got so loud that neighbors started coming out. Again. Watching. Whispers everywhere. My blood boiled with humiliation. That night, I lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling. I couldn't win this. Not directly. They had more numbers, louder voices, zero shame. But then it hit me. What if I stopped playing defense? What if I turned the game around? I pulled out my laptop, heart racing. Started looking at property listings. Farther away. Bigger. Private. Somewhere they wouldn't dare follow. At the same time, I drafted something else. A little message for the family chat. Not to defend myself. No. This was bait. I typed. "If you really think my house is yours, maybe I'll just sell it. Then you can camp on the lawn of strangers." Within seconds, replies flooded in. "Mom, you wouldn't dare. Marla, you're bluffing. Doug, stop being dramatic." I smirked at the screen. For once, I was the one holding the match. And they had no idea. I was already striking the flame. The more I thought about it, the clearer it became. They didn't just want me. They wanted my house. My paycheck. My peace. They saw me as a resource, not a person. And I was about to prove it. I called a lawyer first thing Monday morning. Explained everything. The surprise invasions, the police call, the flyers. He listened quietly, then said something that made me grin for the first time in weeks. "You don't need a restraining order," he said. "You need a paper trail. Make them sign something. If they think your house is theirs, let's see how far they'll go." That's when the idea hit me. A fake co-ownership agreement. Just a harmless little document. I drafted it up, making it look official with plenty of legal jargon. In bold letters, it said, "All household expenses, repairs, and damages must be shared equally by co-owners." I posted a photo of it in the family chat with a sarcastic note. "Since everyone thinks this is their house, let's make it official. Here's the contract. Sign and pay your share of the mortgage, property tax, utilities, and cleaning bills. Otherwise, stay off my lawn." The chat exploded. "Mom, that's insulting. Dad, you're twisting family into business. Marla, you're sick. Who charges their own family? Doug, we can't afford those numbers." I laughed out loud. "Oh, you can't afford it? Then stop treating my house like a free resort." But here's where it got interesting. 2 hours later, my cousin Derek messaged me privately. "Hey, if you're serious about selling, let me know. I've been looking to invest in a place around town. Maybe I can take it off your hands." I blinked at the screen. An actual offer. And not from a stranger, from family. So I called my realtor that night. Listed. Quietly. Cash buyers only. Within a week, we had 3 offers. The market was hot, and my house was perfect bait. Meanwhile, my family had no idea I was dead serious. They still thought it was a bluff. So they doubled down. That Saturday, I came home from the grocery store to find my driveway blocked by 3 cars. My own family holding a garage sale. On my lawn, they were selling old toys, clothes, random junk, and telling neighbors they were helping out. I marched up. "What the hell are you doing?" Marla smirked. "Relax. It's just stuff we don't need. You've got such a nice yard. Thought we'd use it." Without asking, Doug waved a hand. "We figured you'd be fine with it. Community spirit, you know? Community spirit. On my property. Selling their trash." I felt my blood boil. But instead of screaming, I smiled. "Great idea. Don't forget to report your earnings to the IRS." The look on their faces was priceless. The next morning, I sent another message in the family chat. FYI, anyone selling items on my property is required by law to report income. Also, damages and unpaid bills will be forwarded to small claims court. Boom. Silence. For once, no replies. By the end of the month, the house was officially under contract. I hadn't told them. Not yet. I wanted them to feel safe, smug, certain they had won. Then came the perfect storm. One Saturday, they all showed up again, lawn chairs and snacks in tow. I didn't stop them. I let them spread out, drink sodas, argue over who got the recliner. And right when they were comfortable, strangers walked up. A couple with 2 little kids. Smiling, holding papers. Hi, are you Naya? We're the Petersons. We just bought this house. We're so excited to move in. The silence from my family was deafening. Marla's mouth actually dropped open. Mom's face went ghost white. I grinned. Oh, didn't I tell you? I sold it. Closing went through yesterday. Doug sputtered. You what? To strangers? The Petersons looked confused. Is this a bad time? I turned to them sweetly. Not at all. Meet my family. They won't be back. The Petersons laughed nervously. My family didn't. Mom hissed. You betrayed us. No, I said, voice sharp. You betrayed me when you treated my house like free childcare and a diner. Now it's not my problem anymore. They stormed off, muttering threats, looking like they'd been slapped in public. But I wasn't done yet. Because the money from that sale? I had plans. Big ones. Selling the house should have been the end. I thought I was free. But if my family had taught me anything, it's that they don't stop. Not when there's money involved. Not when they smell an opportunity. The Petersons moved into their new home within a week. I packed my essentials, signed my final paperwork, and took my check. More money than I'd ever seen at once. Enough to buy something bigger, quieter, untouchable. I rented a temporary place 2 towns over and started looking for property. A farm-style house with high fences. A pool. Land. I wanted space no one could claim. But my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Mom. Dad. Marla. Calls, texts, emails. All blocked. So they switched tactics. They started calling my office. My boss had to pull me aside again. Naya, I know you're dealing with something personal, but your family has been leaving messages about finances. They said you're hiding money from them? I nearly dropped dead on the spot. Hiding money? From them? That night, I logged into the family group chat on a burner account just to see what they were saying. And that's when I saw it. Marla had posted a massive rant about how I was sitting on family wealth that didn't belong to me. My heart froze. Wealth? What wealth? Then came the secret. Mom wrote, when your grandmother passed, she left something behind for the family. We didn't tell you because we knew you'd waste it. But now that you sold your house, you have no choice. That money should come to us. It was always meant for family, not for you alone. I read the lines 3 times, hands shaking. My grandmother had died years ago. I got a necklace, a Bible, and a hug at the funeral. That was it. No one had ever mentioned money. I called my cousin Derek immediately. What is this about grandma's inheritance? Did you know? He went silent, then sighed. Yeah, there was a trust. But your mom and Marla told everyone you'd already gotten your share early. They said you begged for help when you were younger, so they gave it to you. We all believed it. I nearly dropped the phone. I'd never received a cent. Not a dime. The betrayal hit like a truck. My own family had stolen my inheritance. Lied to everyone. Painted me as greedy while pocketing what was mine. And now, they wanted more. The rage bubbling inside me turned sharp, almost electric. I wasn't just angry. I was done being their victim. The next morning, I called my lawyer again. Told him everything. He was quiet for a long moment before saying, if there was a trust, there will be records. We can pull them. If they misrepresented your share, that's fraud. You could sue. I sat there with the phone pressed to my ear, heart racing. Sue my own family. Drag everything into court? Could I actually do it? Then I thought about the garage sale on my lawn. The flyers. The Facebook video. My mother dialing 911 on me. Yes, I could do it. I started the paperwork that week. Requested documents. Pulled bank statements. And sure enough, it was all there in black and white. Grandma had left a modest inheritance split equally between her kids and grandkids. My parents had taken my share. Quietly. Illegally. The irony almost made me laugh. They'd spent months calling me greedy, selfish, heartless, all while pocketing my money and pretending it was theirs. I didn't tell them at first. I wanted them to sweat. Instead, I sent one single message to the family chat. Funny how the truth always comes out. Can't wait to see you in court. Within minutes, my phone lit up with chaos. Mom, you don't understand. This is family business. Dad, we did what was best for everyone. Marla, You can't prove anything. Doug, you're going to destroy the family name if you do this. I typed back. You already destroyed it. I'm just holding up the mirror. For the first time, they were scared. I could feel it through the screen. But here's the twist they didn't expect. My cousin Derek reached out again. If you need a witness, I'll back you. I'm sick of Marla running the show. I almost cried with relief. Finally, someone in the family who wasn't blind. By the end of that week, my lawyer had filed the first motions. I was officially suing my parents and sister for theft of inheritance. Word spread fast. The same relatives who'd trashed me online suddenly went quiet. Some even called me privately, whispering apologies. Others doubled down, calling me vindictive. But none of it mattered. Because for the first time in this nightmare, I wasn't cornered. I wasn't the victim. I was the one holding the cards. And I had no intention of folding. Courtrooms are cold. Too cold. I sat at the plaintiff's table, palms sweating, heart pounding like a drum. Across from me, my parents and Marla whispered furiously with their attorney. They wouldn't look at me. Maybe because they finally realized what this was. Their lies, in the open, under oath. When the judge asked me to state my case, I spoke slowly, my voice steady but burning inside. Your Honor, my grandmother left a trust. My family lied. They stole my portion, told relatives I had already received it, and used the money for themselves. I have the bank records to prove it. I slid the documents forward. Cold, hard facts. My lawyer added, this isn't just a family squabble. This is financial fraud. Mom shook her head wildly, tears forming. We didn't steal. We protected her. She would have wasted it. The judge raised an eyebrow. Protected her? Or took it without consent? Marla jumped in. She's dramatic. Always has been. She never wanted a family, so she doesn't deserve family money. It's that simple. Her words cut like glass. But they also made the courtroom gasp. The arrogance, the entitlement, it was all laid bare. And then Derek, my cousin, stood up from the benches. Your Honor, may I speak? The judge allowed it. Derek's voice trembled, but he spoke clearly. I was told the same lie. That Naya got her share early. I believed them. But she didn't. They pocketed it. All of it. And they used her as the scapegoat. For a moment, silence. The kind of silence that echoes. My parents' lawyer tried to spin it, calling Derek unreliable, but the damage was done. The evidence was too strong. The judge ordered a recess. My family huddled together, faces pale, voices hissing. When we reconvened, the judge's words hit like thunder. The plaintiff's claims are supported. The defendants are liable for restitution of the inheritance, with damages. Judgment in favor of the plaintiff. I won. I should have felt joy, triumph. But as my family collapsed into chaos, Mom sobbing, Dad glaring daggers, Marla storming out, I only felt empty. Outside the courthouse, reporters were waiting. Somehow, the story had leaked. A local news station stuck a mic in my face. Naya, what does this verdict mean to you? I looked straight into the camera, fire in my chest. It means I'm done being their scapegoat. Family doesn't mean blood. Family means respect. And if they couldn't give me that, then they don't deserve me. The clip went viral. People from my hometown messaged me, old classmates, neighbors, saying they finally understood my side. Some apologized for judging me. Some even called me a hero. My family, meanwhile, imploded. Dad refused to pay the judgment, which meant liens, collections, court orders. Mom tried guilt-tripping relatives, but most backed away. Marla moved out of state in disgrace after Doug filed for divorce. Apparently, he didn't like her dragging their finances into legal hell. And me? I bought a new house. Bigger than the first. Gated. Private. With land that stretched so far, no one could ever drop by again. But the best part wasn't the money. It was the silence. The sweet, golden silence of weekends where no cars pulled up, no fists pounded on the door, no voices shouted through my walls. Sometimes, I sit on my new porch with a glass of wine and think about everything. The flyers. The fake garage sale. The Facebook video. My mother dialing 911 because I wouldn't let her inside. And I laugh. Because now, none of it matters. The last time I heard from any of them was an email from Mom. Short. Cold. You've ruined this family. I hope you're proud. I didn't reply. I didn't even hesitate. I just deleted it. Because the truth is, I am proud. Proud that I walked away. Proud that I fought back. Proud that I chose myself over people who only saw me as free labor and a wallet. And if you're wondering whether I miss them, the answer is simple. No. I don't miss chaos. I don't miss manipulation. I don't miss feeling like a stranger in my own home. All I miss is the version of family I never really had. But now, I've built my own peace. And that's worth more than any inheritance they could have stolen. That's the end of today's story. Did things turn out the way you thought, or were there some surprises along the way? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't joined the community yet, now's the perfect time. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always the first to catch new stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.